Hey everybody. So it crossed my mind the other day that as I'm going about my day, the trans status of myself crosses my mind a lot. Like it's always in the back of my mind. And, whether it's using the bathrooms or presenting myself in a group of men, it's just always in the back of my mind, like, how I am being perceived and how I'm presenting myself and just the way at which I go through this world as myself. So it got me to thinking that I'm curious what Erin has to deal with if things like that ever come about in her life as she is at work or talking with friends or whatever. So we put together this little list of questions for her so we could have another video with her because everyone seemed to love the last one. Clearly, it's not about me, it's about her.
That is true.
So, came up with these questions, and I will also interject anything that I have to contribute to the conversation, but these questions were brought about mainly to ask her. So, we'll just get started with the first one. Does the fact that you're dating a trans man ever cross your mind in your average day-to-day activities?
Not usually, no. Because I don't think about you as being trans most of the time. It's not until, certain things come up or whatever that it actually crosses my mind. I just think of you as the person I'm with, my partner.
That's sweet. That's real nice.
I know.
So it's not like you swing by the store and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot my trans boyfriend.
My trans boyfriend needs some milk.
Pickup. Okay, so that's good, I guess. There's never any big instances where it just crosses your mind every day.
Not really, no. Not that I can think of.
When we're out in public holding hands, you're not thinking like, oh god, my boyfriend is
I wonder
trans.
if people think that he has a vagina.
They probably do. No. Okay, moving on to the next one. How is dating me similar to other guys you've dated, or how is it different? Is it similar? Is it different?
I think it's similar because you are a guy to me. You are a man's man.
I am
do man
man.
Work. Stick your hands in the dirt and you pull hair out of a drain and you
I do
things that I can't.
Don't forget.
Okay, I can play in the dirt, but I can't. The hair in the drain, I can't.
Don't forget the spiders.
The spiders, you kill the spiders.
I kill the spiders.
Like, check the oil in the car and...
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that girls can't do that. I just
I'm
don't.
not good at it either, really. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a car guy. But the basics I can get by with doing. But I'm not good by any means in that aspect.
Yeah.
Is there anything else where I'm similar or different?
I mean, I think... No, I mean, probably.
Go ahead, be honest.
Probably, but not any that I can really think of right off the top of my head.
I'm hairy, just like other guys.
Yeah.
I'm stinky, just like other guys.
True.
I shave and get prickly and scratchy.
You get hair in the
I
sink.
don't moisturize. I'm dry and scratchy.
Like most guys.
Like most guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think of you as I have a trans boyfriend. I think of you as I have a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Partner in life, someone I can drive crazy.
I have a schmuck that I'm trying to brainwash into marriage.
True. Very true.
Okay. All right. Well.
Very true.
Okay, moving on to the next one then. Do you feel any stigma or shame associated with being the partner of a trans guy? Like once somebody finds out that you're dating me and I'm trans, is there any shame that comes with like either their reaction or how they treat you, or is there something in the back of your mind that's just kind of like, I wish that I wouldn't have to even have that discussion or issue? Like, it would just be easier if you were dating a cis guy.
I don't think I have any shame. I feel like when people question our relationship based on your trans status, and if they don't understand and they kind of get standoffish, and that bothers me more because they're not willing to see the bigger picture, I guess. Not that I care what they think. I just feel like if you're a friend of mine, you should ask me questions. If you have questions, you shouldn't just assume that, what you think of a a relationship with a trans person is probably not how it really is, because I think we're just two people that are living our lives together. We're happy, we love each other, we respect each other, we're blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
I mean,
yeah. So
it's pretty much the same as any other happy, healthy relationship, I feel, and I think it just bothers me more that people get standoffish and weird.
Right.
That bothers me, but I don't have any shame. I'm not ashamed of you in any way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for when you smell bad, and then...
I do, but not usually in public.
Not typically.
It's usually home stink.
Yeah.
Well, like I've discussed I was on a podcast a few days ago, and we were discussing that most of what the general public knows about trans stuff is kind of a focused grouping of issues where, whoever is putting that information out there, like if it's Fox News or any other kind of religious group or political group, they're putting the information that benefits them the best, and it may not be like the full story of trans issues. It may be, these celebrities and or these people with mental illnesses and they happen to be trans, and I do not think that is the right representation for trans as a group in a whole. I feel like most of the general public that doesn't personally know a trans individual, I feel like they have kind of a skewed concept of what trans really is. So, like our lives are normal, I think. So I would have to agree with you on that. Yeah, it's if anybody had questions, it's better to just ask and educate yourself. I feel like the ones that are probably standoffish to you are thinking narrow-mindedly only about how you're cisgendered and how, you were, before this relationship, you were straight identifying and, only slept with men who were born with penises, and, that's, why would you change? I don't understand why you would go for this other thing.
Yeah.
But, clearly there's some perks to dating me that clearly far surpass any other cisgendered men. Or something. So, all right. So we can move on to the next one then. We've covered that one. That was a good one. Has anyone ever asked you any questions about what it's like to date a trans guy? Hey, Aaron, I heard your boyfriend is trans. What's that like?
I think the most, I don't think anybody's ever questioned it except for asking, so how does sex work?
People seem to be focused on that a lot.
And it works.
Everybody likes it.
It works just fine. I think there's a little bit not even, it shouldn't even say preparation because it's not like it's a huge amount of time.
It's just more effort.
It's just a little bit, yeah. But it works the same as everyone else, so.
Yeah, it's, I mean, to each their own. Everybody's own sexual experience behind closed doors is unique in its own way. It's whatever works for both individuals. What we do is very similar to the typical cisgendered sex positions and whatnot, as I use my prosthetic apparatus, whatever you want to call it, strap-on stuff. So it's very similar to what you're used to dealing with a few extra added steps because there's preparation. You can't just like a drop of the hat mess around in the laundry room real quick because I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. I don't have the tools. And like fooling around in the shower, if we took a shower together, it's not just like, hey, you have to actually prepare for those situations ahead of time. But other than that, it all still works the same. Okay. All right, well, I guess we'll move on to the next one. Do you think that I require more support or encouragement from you, than most cisgendered men? I know people in general like to be praised, or like anybody likes compliments and whatnot. Do you think that I require a special kind of support or encouragement due to my issue?
Sometimes.
What did the guy call it in the panel? It was not a disease, but it was
I can't remember.
It was along the lines of like a dysfunction, like I don't know. I was in some panel where some guy was asking me about my issue, that just my trans status being kind of an issue or a deformity type of thing. But anyways, continue. I'll let you go with that question.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes there are times where you're a little moody and a little unsure, like if we're shopping, the typical, how do you think this looks? I think it looks great.
I have insecurities.
But are you sure? Because I can see fill in blank here. Well, I don't see that. I see that you look great and you've been working really hard, eating healthy and working out, and it's showing. And well, I don't see that. Well, I do. And everyone else sees it. So, I mean, there's that.
So I'm seeking your
kind of not a
reaffirming.
Yeah, not approval, but yes. And then, there's days where you're just feeling kind of bleh. Mm-hmm. Like you just have down days sometimes. Not very often, but every once in a while you just kind of get in a funk. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's that, but it's nothing too crazy that I can't handle.
Okay. Well, okay, so I can agree with that. I feel like there's I appreciate actually hearing from you. It makes me feel better about myself when you say you can see things a certain way when maybe I'm feeling down and not seeing it, as you say. So I do appreciate that, and like I was saying, I think that most people like to hear those types of things to kind of build them up a little bit, and I know even though men won't say it, a lot of men feel the need to either be providers or, live up to a certain standard, whether it be from society or family or whatnot, where you need to feel needed and that you're doing something special and that somebody recognizes that you are doing that thing, fill in the blank. Right. So, yeah, I can totally see how that happens, and I appreciate it.
I think it's like sometimes your dysphoria will come out a little more than other times. And that's just the time when, I have to reassure you that, this is how I and probably the majority of everyone else sees you, not how you're seeing you. And
because we are
and then I just need you to get there.
You need to see my point of view, and you need to do it right now. Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next one. If someone were to come up to you and ask you pointers on dating a trans person, what would your suggestions be? Like maybe if somebody was in a relationship and their partner has just now decided to start transitioning and they're freaking out about what that means for them. Like, does this change my sexual orientation? Does this does this change my views and my labels from society? And I'm freaking out. Oh my God, what does this mean? What would your blanket statement suggestions be for that type of person?
I mean, I think just if it's somebody that you're with and that you want to stay with, and if it's somebody that you love and respect, and I think then you need to kind of follow suit. If you have hesitations, then you need to address it at that point and not just go follow suit and then, oh, I can't do this. You have to, if it's somebody that you're with for a while, then you need to talk with them about it and be open and communicate, use appropriate pronouns, reassure them, of the little things, like your little mustache hairs. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're getting darker.
So good. Yeah, praise those little steps because I think
it means a lot. And it wasn't until we got together that I realized that those little things really do mean a lot to you. And I guess I never realized that before.
Yeah. It's kind of like, oh boy. Well, because like for me personally, I didn't transition until I was like 29 years old. So imagine living unhappily in a body that you didn't get to choose for 29 years, and then finally the mustache that you felt you probably should have been getting in your younger years of high school or something when you were going through puberty, but you didn't get to. You're finally getting them, even though you're almost 30 or 33.
Ish.
It's still not coming in. Genetically, I don't know what's going on. But they are, it has been getting thicker and darker. But because
we don't have to fill it in with eyebrow filler anymore.
Right, we're not darkening it or anything. I'm keeping it shaved, but I did grow it out a little bit about a month ago just to see where we're at with it. And it is coming along, but for almost 4 years on hormones, it's not great. So genetically, I was meant to have this beard come in really well early on, but the mustache, it's going to be stubborn, and it doesn't quite connect here yet to the beard. When it just kind of stops here, leaves a blank spot, and then picks up again down here. But it's a big thing, stuff like that. So I agree with you on that point. Just they may seem like little things, but build up and praise those little things that you can tell excite them or that they're getting giddy about. It may seem silly or foolish to you, but to them it could mean the world. So that's awesome to kind of recognize that. And so what else? Is there anything else that you would say for pointers?
I don't know that there's really any pointers that you could give. I feel like if you are with somebody and you want to be with them, then you will find a way to make it work. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be with that person. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you don't love them.
Doesn't mean you don't love them or even care about them. But if you spend your whole day thinking about how am I going to make this work? What am I going to do? What will people think of me? Then you need to do something different, because that's not how you can make a relationship work. If you're so worried about what others think, or if you can't get over yourself, or if you can't think of anything other than
what society thinks, or your relationship,
then at that point you've got to call it quits and
I agree.
Stay in the friend zone. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard because transition for a trans individual, like I said, if you finally get the opportunity to transition and you realize that you have this potential, to unlock this whole other world that you wish that you could have been born with originally, but you happen to be in this relationship with somebody that you love, you have to realize that making the transition is going to have to be a selfish move in order for you to make yourself happy with yourself. It may go against what makes somebody else happy in your relationship or what have you, family even, whether it makes your family happy or not. You have to think about yourself. And if you've lived unhappily up until now, you kind of need to go for that. And it may cause some heartbreak. And it is hard because, sadly, it does change kind of the status of the partner. Just because we like to label, society likes to label things as they see it. So if a trans woman is walking around holding the hand of a cisgendered woman, it's perceived as lesbians. And the cisgendered woman may not identify as that. Like, in her heart, she may totally be cisgendered, attracted to men or penis or what have you, but I feel like it's deeper than that. Some people are not just attracted to the genitals, and sadly society can't see that when they're labeling things based on what they are visually seeing in front of them. And some trans women choose not to even go through lower surgery, so they could keep that and things can still function somewhat the way they want it to. It just depends on what works for each individual couple, but it has the potential to break up relationships because of that factor of changing your identity, your sexual attraction and whatnot. So that's rough.
Yeah.
It is really hard to have to decide whether you want to make yourself happy and transition to become the person that you feel you always should have been, or make other people in your life happy, family or partner or what have you. So it's a big psychological kind of a mind fuck where you are having to debate with yourself about what to do. And I wish that people could be more understanding of what a struggle and a hard decision it is to make that change. So,
some people wait their whole lives to make that change.
Right.
Look at Gigi.
Yes. And how old was she?
70.
She was 70 when she transitioned?
When she had surgery. I think
so
transition was
that.
A few years before that.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years, something like that.
So, like we mentioned in the previous video with Erin, her dad transitioned and is a trans woman. And so she waited until she was 60-something before she had to make that decision to be happy and finally be herself. And even though it, caused a divorce and, family issues, it's not easy. It's a hard thing.
It was not easy. It was a long road, and it upset a lot of people, But I think she went about it, in a way that was kind of abrupt, I guess you could say. I don't know how to put it really.
Didn't ease into the lake by dipping the toes?
No, there was no toe dipping.
It was cannonball. It was run and cannonball.
At least that's how it seemed for us. And
right.
While it wasn't such a big deal for my brother and I, it was a big deal for the majority of the people around us. And I think that's where the issues stemmed from, is because nobody was willing to understand, nobody was willing to educate themselves.
Right. And think of all those years where she was struggling inside and trying to do what was expected of her. Mm-hmm. They don't think about that pain. They just think of instant, you hurt me right now with this decision you're making. And that, in comparison, that's nothing compared to what she had to go through the whole rest of her life before making that decision. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, way to bring me down.
I know. Also, here, I'm going to bring you back up. I just noticed that says Mini D.
Oh, my tripod. Hey, what are you trying to say?
Nothing,
My tripod apparently says Mini D, like the letter D, as in, short for dick.
I'm a child. I can't help it.
She cracks herself up. So, anyways, I hope this video has been helpful to anybody. We plan on doing more if we receive more questions. So, feel free to leave some questions in the comments below, and we'll just compile a little list and try to do another video off of those questions. We're open books, so we'll answer pretty much anything. Obviously, people ask about sex and private parts and stuff, so we talk about it.
And we have that.
We're not afraid. So, yeah, leave comments and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching, everybody.
And I might do my hair next time.
She might do her hair next time. Today was kind of a iffy day. But thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.